Hey guys, it's Miko, and welcome to episode 3 of becoming a web designer and Webflow freelance developer. And I just wanted to share some updates that have happened since the last time we talked. And I realized the last video was black screen, so that's my bad. I probably have to redo that. But aside from that, the first update is my stage 1 of my portfolio is up, and it's basically just this pretty minimal, pretty static. I For stage 2, which I'm planning in probably like the near springtime or like the beginning of summer, is when I'll be planning like all the interactions besides like the one that you just saw here and like the floating guy. Like I want to my vision for this site is to make it completely like a video game, so like all the buttons, all the micro interactions will have some sort of like pixelating element to it kind of thing. And like these cards won't be sticky, they'll be like individual cards, probably just like floating, and when you hover on them I'm thinking of like a pixel effect or something like that. But that will come with time. And like, yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out for the most part. I just want to figure out some things about code like on GSAP and just like JavaScript in general. And I think there's a lot of things that I could get into, especially with like page transitions and like more like GSAP effects, is what I'm thinking. But aside from that, I've talked to a good friend of mine, Baltazar. I met him at Webflow Conf, and we were just talking about like really going into how to balance your time and how to like structure and balance life, really. So it was a really nice conversation to go through, and just always like updating like people that you want like close to you in your network kind of thing. Especially because like Baltasar gave me some really good advice when I met him at WebflowConf, which was basically just the um, idea of like personal branding and like niching and trying to find like what kind of clients would be best for you like in the future, like thinking long term kind of thing. And then the second person I talked to was Corey Reynolds, and that's, if you don't know his portfolio, I'm pretty inspired by him actually, because he goes over, what do you call it, he went over his story of like how Flowman became a thing and like his story of pivoting from a different field, which really spoke to me. And I really wanted to understand like that journey, because after talking to him I felt like we were pretty similar in terms of like transferring into this field from the health space, because I used to be a biomedical engineer and he previously was an x-ray tech, so like I totally feel that. And yeah, so on to the things that I want to do for next week. I started this new project, and it's nothing too special. I really like music, and I think music's a big part of me, and I want to, create this mock site for an artist I really like, and see where it goes from there. I mean, I'm not really expecting too much out of it. I just want to test more so the limits of like the things I can do in terms of interactions, because I think from these two projects, my portfolio and my like okay, not just two, but like most of these projects that I've done, I think I've learned how to build in Webflow efficiently and like really like take my design in a Figma file and then just like putting it on into Webflow. So that took a while for me to like understand, and I had to, like create or like get pages and like put them into squares, and then once I got more confident, I was putting in my own like design or like redesign of a site and then developing that on Webflow. And now I think the next step for me is to really go into the coding aspect of things, because I was on the freelance, or not the freelance plan, but the basic plan for a really long time, or the free workspace plan. So I didn't really touch code, and I think I should have been messing with code, but what they say, now is better than never, I guess. So yeah, I'm As for learning code, I have been mainly doing this creative coding club course that I found out from one of my buddies, Nine, on Twitter, and it's been really great understanding like the very like nuances. I don't even know if nuance is the right word, but the each individual like tween and like each part of the GSAP code, explaining what it is, and then going over like the easing curves. So that's why I say like for like stage 2, like once I figure out all these interactions and like what I want to do with them, and then I want to also like talk to more people to understand like how are you creating these interactions, what's your workflow, and like when are you incorporating these things. Are you incorporating it in the wireframe phase? Are you incorporating it after you finish a prototype and then going into development? Kind of things like that, of like when should I really think about this kind of stuff, because like for me, I'm kind of just taking it piece by piece and really just getting there step by step, which is why there's like several stages to my portfolio, which is like 3 stages. So I'm not sure what the third stage will consist of. Maybe that will be like cleanup in terms of like optimizing all my code and then making sure like everything is like running like super smoothly, and then really diving into the accessibility of the site, especially if users like navigate through keyboard or they don't have JavaScript on. So I want to make sure the site still works properly. And I do want to, for this stage 2, I want to go more into like a combination of Webflow interactions and custom code interactions to really level up my interaction design skills. So that's my goal for, I'd say, like this coming month, but like just coding daily and creating more projects, like incorporating a little more into my projects as I go on. So that's it for this episode, and thanks for sticking around. If you just listen to me talk, I'll see you in the next episode.